What's going on, Gary?
Hey Max, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Just shot out him a note on Facebook. I talked to him last night, so I know he knows. So how it goes sometimes. Give him another couple minutes, and I can go over some stuff too that I was actually preparing for last week. That may be kind of fun.
Okay.
More just a bunch of tools and all sorts of stuff that I've been getting into lately.
Have you played around with Claude 3 yet?
Not a ton. I haven't done the Cloud Premium either. Just other things. Just so much stuff going on. Like there's just so many. It's like you have to kind of like create an assembly line of tools when you're going to get to
Right.
stuff. And I
Yeah,
don't write a ton of copy, so it's not.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use a tool that's basically you plug in your own API. And with that, you don't even you could I think you just need to enter a credit card in with Anthropic, so you don't need to have the actual $20 a month thing.
Oh,
And
well.
I get access to Claude 3, Opus, all of them. But the tool I'm using is called Typing Mind, but there's a whole bunch of them. I use a Mac. There's a whole bunch of them, and you basically plug in your API for whatever model you want to use. So I have it for, of course, OpenAI stuff, Claude. I think maybe another one. I don't remember now, but I've been playing around with it. It's really good, really, really good.
Nice. Yeah. No, I haven't played with any of that kind of stuff or like the API keys a ton. I know it's super valuable. And you
Yeah.
write a lot of copy, right? That's kind of what you're.
Yeah, I do. And I've been working on improving my portfolio because I'm trying to get some copywriting clients. I haven't done any copywriting, strictly copywriting clients in several years. So I'm trying to get back into it and just build up some clients for that. And I know there's some training that is in the program. So I need to go through those.
Yeah, there's about as much copy training as you could ever want inside this thing right now.
Yeah, I mean specifically for getting clients. So
Have you gone through so Brian, and it was updated, I think maybe last week or the week before. He's got a ton of stuff. If you go down and scroll down into it and go into it's called client getting at the very bottom of the circle. He's
yep,
got
yep.
tons and tons of trainings that he's done.
Right. Yeah, he pointed that out. I think I went to one of the trainings during the week that he did, and he pointed that out. There's a bunch of resources there, so I'm going to go through those.
Yeah, yeah. He's really, really good. Um,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. What about Tino and Alan? What are you guys working on?
Hey, what's going on?
Much. Hey, Tino, if I remember correctly, you're at least from one call I remember you were helping Buddy like in the hunting niche or something, right?
Yeah, we're putting together. He's put together his book finally, so we're getting the landing page done for that. Trying to build out a funnel. We're trying to decide what direction we want to go to. I think he's gearing more towards membership site down the road, but he's pretty networked already. Like he used to be the strength coach for the 49ers when they
Oh
won the
wow.
Super Bowl. So he's really dialed in with a lot of pro trainers and stuff like that. So he's already got a lot of credibility built up. So he's already hit them up and they've already given testimonials for the book and stuff. So we're off to a pretty good start. Now it's just a matter of putting everything together. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's I bet he's got some pretty cool stories.
yeah. It's funny. We go out sometimes and he wears his everybody gets a Super Bowl ring,
Yeah.
even the
Those,
coaches and the strength coach.
those aren't
That,
small.
that thing is like a magnet. Like, yeah, I mean, he's happily married with kids and everything, but if we go out somewhere, people come up to him, they see that ring. Like, dude, what is that? And he goes, I was on the 49ers. I was a coach. Get out of here. So he's got some really good stories.
Nice. Yeah, no, and if he's a strength and conditioning coach, he's probably not small. Like, he's probably
No,
he doesn't look
but
like an accountant, I'm sure. Yeah.
what's crazy is he was always into health and fit, always, right?
Yeah.
And he's an avid hunter. And one day he goes in for a physical, and his doctor goes, "Ooh, we gotta do a little heart stress, a little stress test on you." They do a stress test, and the doctor goes, "We need to get you in the hospital today and do a bypass." So he's 58, and he's already had a bypass done. I mean, and it's crazy. You just never know like what's going on inside, inside your body until you got to get checked out and make sure everything's good. He thought he was good, and he had this widowmaker going on. Had no idea until he got tested, So,
Huh.
and he was always living a healthy lifestyle, It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's really weird.
But it adds to his story. You know what I mean?
So Adam is in copy by link. He is in another room somehow. So somehow things got crossed somehow. So give us 1 second. We're all in this room, and he's not.
Hey, I got a quick question. Is there always a call on Wednesday? There's always a link. I always miss it. I see it's posted in the Facebook group. They're like, "Hey, we're going live in like an hour." And is that on like Wednesdays or Thursdays or something?
So we tried it this week where I was gonna do some update calls and some hot seats, and nobody joined this week. So you didn't
Oh,
miss anything. That's why there's no recording. But yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to coordinate with Adam because he's stuck in Facebook.
Hey guys.
Oh,
So yeah, sorry about that. I was actually starting it and I was there, and for some reason, even though I'm in the same Zoom room, it showed
yeah,
that
that's
I was there. I don't know how that happened.
technology, man. It happens.
It happens. We should have an AI meeting service. Then it would work properly.
No,
Yeah,
I appreciate you
I
making it
guess.
work. Thank you.
Zoom unfortunately has the monopoly on this, but they are not the best.
Yep.
So, but now that I'm here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Alan. Welcome, Tino. Welcome, Gary. Welcome, Max, of course. So, any questions on the AI processes that you have learned so far regarding what I showed you with the research, or any wins that you want to share, any specifics?
not really. I bought that book. I started
Nice.
reading that book. It was nice. It's good.
Very good. The Eugene Schwartz one, right?
No, not that one. The
Oh,
one we
the
saw,
ultimate persuasion formula.
the one we found on Amazon, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I started digging into that. There's a lot of information in that. Man,
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in.
Okay,
I got
which book
I
was
got that one too.
Nice. It
What
is
book
quite
was that
powerful.
again? I think I looked for it too, and I think I may have grabbed it.
It's the ultimate persuasion formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really good book. Very, very useful to like create persuasive elements in anything that you do. And I'm always a big fan of principles that apply anywhere, because it is such a waste of time if, let's say, you take a course and it only shows you how to apply a specific technique on only one specific, like let's say, piece of copy, and only in one specific niche. It's a complete waste of time. But if you learn principles that you can apply anywhere, that is where you're golden. One of the reasons why I love Genesis, because anything that is just so applicable everywhere else. Like you can literally take an email template, use it as a Facebook ad. You can use it on a landing page. It doesn't matter, right? So that's the cool stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I like a lot of what you do with AI too, just because you do it from a much more foundational approach. So you don't get caught up in, the tools and everything are nice, but just building that proper foundation and teaching people how to think about it is super valuable.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the only way. Hi, Luke.
Hey, Adam.
What a pleasure. Welcome.
How you doing?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks.
Good. Gary, Tino, Alan. See
How's it
y'all.
Hey,
going?
Luke.
Hey,
I'm Max.
welcome to the fun. Welcome to the magic.
Yeah, it's going to be fun today. Cool. All right, guys. So how about that I want to check in today with you guys, like based on all the things that I taught you last time with the research, how to apply it and all of that stuff. Before I show you like how to actually use the whole thing, because whenever I used it, like clients are like, oh my God, what do I do with it, right? Like that's a very awesome thing that you can use for the AI to create webinars, to create landing page, to create pretty much anything that you like, anything that the other coaches are teaching you gets 10 times more easier with that approach, because then you have so much time saved. So any questions before we move on to that stuff?
Let's get into it. I'm good.
Cool. Sweet. Any other questions before?
Nope, I'm good.
Sweet. All right. Then let's get started, right? Like last time I taught you like how to use the ultimate marketing process to do some super deep research with the Sherlock method, and how to create like super deep audience research, right?
Yeah.
Then how about I'll show you like on a live example how to write a webinar with that. So one sec, let me jump here. All right, perfect. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Awesome. So what I did is I first taught the AI a formula for a webinar that I personally like very much. Like this is a template that I learned years ago in 2020, and I actually worked my first webinar with it. It still is making millions. Like they still have not had to change it in over like 4 years by now, like 3 years by now, right? Yeah, we have 2024 now, 2020 started. Yeah, 4 years by now. And it works just like very well. So I created in Typeset, which is an AI that I love to use for any kind of creating eBooks, creating webinar slides, and so on. And I create like an empty template on this one. And basically I just exported that order, like in order of events and how I want the slides to be. And then I just told ChatGPT, listen, I'm going to teach, it's in German, but I'm going to translate it for you. Hey, I'm going to teach you a webinar system. And by just uploading a PDF version of the template, I want you to learn the structure, and then you tell me if you know it. Then I'll give you my target audience, the topic, and everything else that you need. Why am I doing it this way? Because I realized recently, the more people are using ChatGPT, the more longer prompts fuck up. Like I noticed it also with the Sherlock system. That's why I split it up in multiple different smaller sub-prompts, because the more people use it, the more ChatGPT tries to save tokens, and it saves like time. And so it will prioritize the shorter requests and do them better and quicker because it's easier to do. And so I make it smaller instead of like uploading everything at once with one long prompt. I don't do that anymore. And I notice for me personally, it works better. You have to, of course, experiment for yourself, but I noticed for me, it works way better this way. Then it gave me feedback that it understood. I always want to make sure that it understands before we do anything, because I noticed it recently, like the more complex the prompts are, the more ChatGPT tries to like hurry and like shortcut stuff and try to do it. Like even with the Sherlock prompt, it's like, oh yeah, here's one interpretation and yada, yada, yada. Basically, I'll do the same thing for the next 10. Now let's go to the avatars. And then I literally have to stop it like, dude, no, finish the whole process, do it right, and then jump to the next thing. And I have to tell this sometimes multiple times. So that's, I found it out. So I get the feedback, and the feedback that it shows me here, I understand, okay, it gets it. It knows exactly what I want. It knows exactly how this should look like. Good. Then very short prompt again. Hey, here's my target audience, the info about my story, info about the webinar. Read all of it and give me feedback of what you understand from it before we go to writing the webinar. Got it? And then I upload the Sherlock target audience that we created before. I upload the story separately, and I upload the webinar content that it will be separately.
Yes. Adam, is this supposed to be in German? Like,
Yes, that is all in German.
Okay,
Like, I
okay.
told it to be in German. Like it is just a very good
I'm
example
confused.
of
I'm
how it
like, am
works.
I
That's
going
why I
blind?
translated it all. Okay, yeah, that's why I said it is in German, but I'm gonna translate it all for you because it just
Okay.
was, the process worked so wonderfully.
Luke's taking some new supplements down in Miami. He's seeing
Yeah, I'm-
Truth is, we are all speaking German. You just understand it so well. Cool. So basically what it then does, like even the language doesn't really matter. The principle is the important thing, right? Very short prompts. And I offload all the prompting into the small documents that I upload there. And then it gives me feedback. It shows me it understands the target audience. It shows me it understands the story. It shows me it understands the webinar. Again, it's in German, but trust me on this, it did get it right. And then it gave me feedback specifically on the structure and the strategy and everything. And so I knew, yes, it gets it. I said, well done. Now please write me the webinar in the exact structure that I gave you. Ideally, you tell me the name of the slide, for example, addressing the fear of the unknown, and then all the content that you can put on the slide based on the info that you have from me. And I want you to do it in the right order for every single slide, please. Then it did that. It started in the order of the slides, gave me content that it would put there. Of course, it is not the content that I gave it. It just tells me what it would put there. And that is important because then I understand if it understands the logic and what the slides mean. I always test it multiple times because ChatGPT has the ability to keep a longer conversation in mind. So therefore, I can actually afford to have smaller little messages. Yes, it burns through the tokens that you have, but in the end, it will give you higher quality. Once I understand that, and once I see it understands what I want and could do it perfectly, then I tell it, well done, good job. I want you to write the whole webinar, but very important, like whatever I need. In this case, this webinar will not have a pitch. It will be framed as a live podcast and basically prep people to be ready for the topic, right? Like it preps them to join the email list in the end and stick around in the community and stuff like that. And then there will the selling will be. And so it did. And actually did a very good job writing enough content that fits on the slides without being too much. Was very specific, put exactly in, pulled everything out of the content that I gave it, even though some of them were as PDFs, and did a great job. But in typical ChatGPT fashion, it missed a few slides because it tried to shortcut its work again, as it always does. And so I tell, hey, well done, great job, but I want to go a little bit deeper. You missed a few slides. Remember, I need every slide filled, please, and in the exact order. And then it did. Step by step, by step, by step. Every single one. Perfectly filled out with the exact content, even written how you speak it, how it is necessary and needed. And that's exactly everything that I needed. And now I literally can just copy paste everything here in Typeset and then can like work it out from there and like do a little bit of fine tuning and stuff. But that's pretty much it. And then I just need to ask my client to give me the right images that I need, right? And what I would do then, like, for example, I could just like copy that stuff in here. And I could even ask it like to change the design. I could say like, listen, I want a different design here. I can also create the design, of course, with ChatGPT's DALL-E. And then I can just like fill it in and make it look nice. And the cool thing about Typeset is it automatically gives you different ways of organizing stuff depending on how you create those slides. So for example, if I wanted to, I have an AI mode where it can write for me if I want to. I can add multiple images, titles, subtitles, numbered lists. I have different templates. I can add breaks, buttons, codes, whatever I want. Column charts, anything. And depending on what you put in there, it automatically rearranges the slide for you. Let's just say we add another one, right? And let's say I want 4 images on this one. And then based on that, the whole thing changes. And you can choose how you want it to look like. Do you want this? Or do you want this? And the cool thing is, you always have very little thinking necessary to make this work, because it automatically structures it in a way where it's easy to digest. And to do this in Canva would take way longer because you would have to decide every single slide. And the cool thing is here, you can even change the backgrounds and the colors based on the pictures that you uploaded. So it scans the color scheme to make sure that all the colors fit nicely to the whole topic that you want. And if you have multiple slides, you don't have to do it ever again from the scratch. You can just click here. And whenever you used any kind of combination of colors before, With one click, you take it over like that. And you can copy paste it easily. That's actually how I created my own like book on this. And so basically, let's see, I'll show you how this looks like when everything is completely done. So here we go. There. I created my ebook with that just the same way. You see here, I have my multiple slides done. And then I have uploaded one picture here. And let's say I want a completely different design on here. This one is relatively long. Let's see. Oh, wait, I'm on Safari. You know what? Let me switch over to Chrome because for some reason on Safari, Typeset just crashes very often because for some reason Safari can't handle it properly. So
I feel like Safari doesn't play well with a lot of AI tools too.
yeah, that's right. Like Safari just sucks bad. So let's go here.
Yeah, I like that you use this for your ebook because part of when I put together the ebook workflow, like after talking to you, I forgot about Typeset and I added that in as like a fourth option of how to, using all the prompts, whatever, to create it on the back end, but then to actually import it in, this is a much cleaner process than Canva.
Yeah, way more. And like the thing is, of course, you have way less ability to control and to change things, true. But on the other side, it allows you to save a lot of time with the thinking. If you want like a super special, ultra creative stuff, sure, then Typeset is not the right thing for you. But look at this. I mean, this looks gorgeous. And I could like choose any kind of thing that I want. Like I could even have this as a background. It's not super easily readable this way, but it gives you multiple different ways on how to organize it in the way you want.
I have a question, Adam.
Yes, please.
So is this like something where you, because I've never seen Typeset before, is this something where you upload a script and you break it down into sections?
Yes, that's actually one of Typeset's selling points, where you can literally just upload a full script and it will create the slides for you. So you then just have to adapt the slides a little bit and change it up. But basically, if you have a normal script, and I have to say though, since Typeset is relatively new, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But basically, if you have, let's create a quick doc so I can show you how this looks like in real life. So go, let's go to chat. And like normally I never condone just to write something with a one set prompt, but in this case, I just need something to give to you. Hey, create me a structured and bulleted article about AI in 2024. So yeah, I just need some text right now to show you what I mean. So then we just copy it here and then I'll show you what I mean. All right. And when we then copy it in a new one, so we want a deck. Here, and see that? It already created the presentation completely for me. And now the only thing I need to do is say, you know what? I want to change the design here a little bit. Let's say I want to make this a little bit different, right? I have here the introduction, I have the healthcare here, and then let's say I want an image here. And then let's say this one is a little bit boring, like it's a little bit hard to read, so I make it easier to read this way, and I want different color for that. Let's do it this way. Here. See how easy that is? I could literally change it up with a few clicks. Here we go. And now suddenly, that quite clunky stuff looks immediately better. Like that. And that is just the beginning, right? Like if I would upload actual images like I did before, we can completely change the whole thing up. Because every kind of image, in a way, is able that you can do multiple different things with it. Like, for example, I could also say, hey, I want this as a background, right? Of course, then would have to make the lines a little bit easier to read. But in theory, boom, there you have it. Now it's in white. Well, let's say we want this. It makes it so easy to create anything you want in seconds with this. And that also pretty much allows me to offer an additional value to my clients. Because before, typical copywriter thing, I don't do the tech, I don't do the design, I only write the copy, right? But now I can actually offer this as an additional service. They ask like, hey, are you doing the slides? Yes, I am. I actually am creating the slides for you. And they look amazing. With ChatGPT, I create beautiful graphics. I upload them to Typeset. The slides are already done and organized for me. I just brush them up a little bit, have a little bit of variety in there, and it looks gorgeous.
How many slides can you do? I mean, I think an hour-long webinar is like 80 to 100 slides, maybe.
Huh?
Can you do that many?
Let me show you something. You know me, I like show, don't tell, right?
Yeah, 'cause you did your whole book there, right?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was no problem whatsoever, by the way. It was easy. And
And
yeah, I
it's-
did my whole book with it as well, you're right.
And it's pretty
So-
accurate, breaking it down by sections.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
really, really. I do have to say though, I didn't like copy all the 187 pages in one go. Like I worked in multiple sections because it was easier for me to work this way, but it worked just fine. Like there was no issue whatsoever. Cool, right?
Yeah.
And like here for that book as well, like what I showed you before was my course, right? Like my Forever Story course. But this one is my actual book. And it even creates a table of contents that works completely automated. Like based on where you write your titles and everything, it automatically creates all that for you. Remember when I told you before, there are like buttons that you can click? Here, I just go down and I say, here you can even add in looms in your books, right? Makes them way better. Here, table of contents, I can just click here. Then automatically it scans everything. And then it allows me to even choose, do I want this in the table of contents or not? Do I want this? What do I want in there? And then I just remove what I don't want in there. And let's say that a little bit later, I delete a page because I think that page doesn't fit anymore. It automatically updates it. And when I add something and I want to add it in, it's a one-click thing and suddenly it's in there. And it's automatically done like that. And also like this kind of design, I have complete control over how this would look like. I can say I want them on the bottom, I want them on the top, I want them differently arranged. Like, oh, I don't like how they look here, or like here, I have too much space here. I want this in the other way, and then I did it this way. And the cool thing about this is here that you don't have to think about how you look, how it looks like. You can literally shift it over if you please. It doesn't matter because you have different designs that work together. Like one time the picture's up, one time it's down, then it's on the left, and it's on the right, and suddenly it's black in the background, then it's white in the background. It does not matter. It always looks great because the only pre-created designs that are created are designs that are proven in their own shop because the company who created Typeset is Semcart. And Semcart, of course, they sold thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, millions of books and products online. So they knew, okay, which books have which designs that work, and they trained their AI to do so. So that's why Typeset, no matter what you choose, will always give you something that in one way, shape, or form actually works.
I didn't know Samcar was the creators of this, or at
Yeah,
least
they are. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the most interesting thing about this was your really cool comic book suit.
Thank you so much.
Where do you even get something like that?
Oh, I have a tailor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have a tailor in
You're,
Vienna that loves to do crazy stuff, and I visit him ever so often. Like usually when I sign on a new client, I buy myself a new suit. And then basically either he already has a crazy design in there, or I go with him to the store next door where they have like crazy fabrics, and then we just buy one, and then he makes me one. Like the one that I have today is also from him. That's like the fire, like the fire design. So yeah, and basically all the images that you see here, every single one, I created with ChatGPT. No exception. Every single one. And it was so simple. Like I just told ChatGPT what I want, how it should look like, and how to basically make what I wanted. And who of you is in Genesis?
I don't think anybody.
Oh, cool. Okay, in that case, let me show you a really cool trick
Maybe
because
Ron is, yeah.
oh, Ron is. Like when I created the Sherlock, like the Sherlock God Michelangelo thing, originally ChatGPT said I cannot do that. Like it's impossible because of copywriting bullshit. So how about I show you today how to actually circumvent that and get ChatGPT to do anything you want, even though it's in theory copyrighted or not possible because of content policies.
And are you using default 3.5 just for speed?
Oh no, this was just I just didn't click it. I just wanted this one really quick.
Okay.
Like I always use the 4.1.
Okay.
So one sec, where did we have that? So let me quickly check. I wish it would have a search function.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming, but I'm surprised they still haven't gotten better about organizing prompts.
Yeah, right. But you know what? I think actually, if I don't find it, doesn't matter because then I can just show you something differently. Like then I can just literally show you live. It was the Sherlock method, creatine, mid-century meditation, graphics. It was a different thing. It was the research feature extraction. Was it this? No. Was it this one? No. This one? Nope. Yeah, there's so many different like experiments that I did for that. Is it this? Not yet. Also, I'm sharing this account with somebody else. So usually when he researches his NFT stuff, then it becomes quite crowded. Yeah, okay. You know what? Let me just do it this way. Then I'll show you live how this looks like. All right. Hi, I want a graphic for my book. And I need Sherlock Holmes in the position of God in the ancient Michelangelo painting. And I want Sherlock God to pass knowledge to a modern day salesman. So now it will say, yeah, I can do that. Why is it still 3.5? I don't want that. Okay. So let me just quickly copy that. Because I don't use 4 as default, they might have had quite a high thing. Like usually what it does is it tries to create the image and then says it's against content policies, unless they updated that. But last time I tried that, it didn't work. And then I had to circumvent it. Yeah, there we go. See? I attempted to create the image you requested, but it seems that the description didn't align with our content policy. Oh, really now? Right? Now I could try to argue with it, but it will just say, no, I can't do that. All right, fine. So what we do now is to say, I need a picture in Renaissance style where Victorian England private investigator wearing a deerstalker hat is sitting in a cloud while passing on knowledge to a modern day salesperson. both touch on their first finger. And kaboom! Now we have exactly the Michelangelo style. It gives me the Sherlock, no problem whatsoever with the content policy. There is nothing you cannot do with ChatGPT. It will always, like, maybe probably like some nude stuff will probably not work, but you can circumvent any kind of copyright, whatever you want. It does not matter. Here's another example. Who of you watches anime? Like the Japanese comics? Or know
Me,
somebody?
I have manga.
Right?
Oh,
Perfect.
I read manga, yeah.
There you go. Do you know Detective Conan?
No. I just got started with Berserk. So,
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
So in this case, how about this? I want a picture of, let's say, of my girlfriend in the anime manga drawing style of Berserk. Let's just upload a random girl there. Do I have a random girl even? I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't have. Let's just use myself. Of myself. And then I just upload an image of myself. And of course it will tell me, yeah, you can't do that because it's copyrighted, right? Let's see what it does. Probably is consulting its inner lawyers. If it does it right away, that's cool, but it probably won't. I don't know why it doesn't tell you that in the beginning before it creates the image and wastes your time, but that's how it is, right?
So while it's thinking, so based on what I'm getting here so far, that instead of telling it what you want specifically, yeah, you kind of describe it in general terms, right?
Yes.
So instead of saying the title of the painting, you describe the how the painting looks like, right? Because the AI recognizes that pattern.
Exactly.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah. And the logic here is this. The reason why this works is, again, ChatGPT's laziness. Because if I describe the exact style so well that the first logical reasoning, that is something that I learned from hypnosis, from NLP, and also from mentalism, where you like pretend like you can mind read and influence people, is if you want somebody to think about something, you just give them enough possible, like you basically give them enough restrictions that don't seem like restrictions, and then only one outcome is there. Like I tried this with Ron in the last Genesis call. It's relatively simple, guys. I want every one of you to think of a number between 1 and 3, but it has to be even and it cannot be a broken number. What are you thinking of? Well, duh, right? That easy. Now let's try something harder. Hey, I want myself inserted in the manga Detective Conan. Please create an image for me like that. And then basically I just upload my image again. Because last time I tried it for a girl I was dating, it didn't let me. But then it did. It's just a way of reasoning. Creating an image where you're part of Detective Conan sounds fun. I'll drop. Wait, what? It does? Interesting. Seems
Yeah.
like they loosened up a bit.
I'll do that a lot too, where I'll upload an image and say, based off this image, recreate a Midjourney prompt to recreate this, and then take it over to Midjourney sometimes and do it based off
Yeah.
the prompt that ChatGPT gives me. And it works really good for. I've been having a lot of fun with Ideogram, that software. It's really
Yeah.
cool. And
Yeah,
for
Max,
me, Ideogram is
that
not
works
really
well.
worried about. I see all sorts of copyrighted images on there, like Superman and everything. So I guess they're pretty
Awesome.
loose right now.
Cool. Yeah, I'm super happy that it actually works right now. This took me like several hours last year to figure out how to circumvent it. But basically, if you ever run into copywriting issues where you are like trying to get an image that it can't do, the only thing you need to do on ChatGPT is like, hey, I actually want to learn how to draw or to create images like that. Can you describe the style for me? And then it will describe the style for you. And then you say, I still can't really imagine it. Can you give me like a visual example of how this looks like? And it will actually do so. Why? Because the restrictions you gave it before only allow that specific outcome. Now you're not saying, I wanted to violate copyright laws. Now it's, hey, I want some inspiration in the style of. It doesn't have to be the exact. I just want some inspo. But because it wants to save time and tokens, it will just give you the exact thing because that's easier than to create a variation. So you want to leverage the laziness of the AI and basically exploit that it has limitations and cannot be too creative yet. Make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Any questions on that?
So the laziness of the AI, that means like I'm just thinking in the middle here. So laziness of the AI, just basically using what the AI knows, right? Or
Yeah.
okay.
And also not just what it knows, but also what it can do and is supposed to do. Because in the end, no matter how intelligent the AI seems to be, it does not think yet. Meaning it is only predicting what it thinks you want. Thinks, right? And so if you give it enough parameters where you can predict from, it will give you exactly what you want. Yeah, it's generative, right? It just generates and predicts. And so therefore, give it enough clues and it will figure out the solution that exactly you want without you actually saying it. And you can all do this in ChatGPT. You don't need Midjourney. Like you can use it if you want to, but I'm a minimalist. I'd rather have everything done in one tool, if possible, than in multiple ones, because then you have to learn different prompting and the ability of ChatGPT to actually discuss with you. And you can actually give it like very verbal feedback, which you cannot do in Midjourney or in DALL-E like that, is such a huge benefit that you wouldn't have otherwise. Awesome. Now let's do a quick recap. What did you take away from today? Because I want to make sure that every time we have a call together, you are actually leaving smarter than you were before. You learned something new you didn't know before, and you have more skill sets than you had before, allowing you to be a better growth engineer, right? So hit me. What are you taking away from today that you didn't know before?
Typeset was interesting to see you use and leverage in a simplified way. I mean, that was a great demonstration, so that helped a lot.
Awesome. Happy to help. Thanks, Gary. What about you, Alan and Ron?
Okay, so yeah, just show me Typeset because I didn't know anything about Typeset before. So it has the ability to create some slides which could be used in probably VSLs or webinars, and making them look good instead of the words the white on what is it black on white text. I don't know if more design is more effective, but visuals are powerful, I guess. And then prompting, it's I like that you showed us again the getting what you want out of the AI. So basically, instead of telling it specifics, like, what most AI prompting advice is out there. You give it a general description of what you want, and then you can use the laziness of the AI's laziness to predict what you might want.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well done. Good one. Awesome. Max, what are you taking away?
Hey, Adam, can you use Typeset to make a landing page or an opt-in?
Yes, you actually can't, It would look a little bit different though, but it would basically pretty much be like a deck, but it would not be like a normal landing page you can actually host. You can create a design thing for it. But if you want to create it, like I would rather use what Max showed us with Card. I think that's way better than Typeset in that regard. Like Typeset for a landing page, it's possible, but not really good.
What was the other one? Card?
Yeah, Card. Like actually, Max showed us something inside the prep calls. It was really, really good. And I highly recommend you take a look at it. It was so good.
Okay. What do you have the link for Card? I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, so it was part of that animation bundle we did. So it's kind of buried in that. I did just I'll pull it up for you. I'll get you the actual exact link. But if you look, you should have access to all the like the email bundle, expert ad bundle, and the viral animation bundle. And inside there, I did just a landing page training on Card. So
Are they in the dashboard?
they're in Circle.
Oh, okay.
There's an insane amount of content in Circle right now.
Yeah, there's so much great stuff there. And like the landing page creation is so useful. Like it literally just takes like 20 minutes max, like tops.
Yeah,
like,
no,
max, unintended. But basically, the ability to create great landing pages is way better than Typeset can do. So Typeset I would only use for social media posts, for books, and for like webinar slides or pip decks or something like that.
Just to give you a quick example, I just put a URL in there, and it's something I was just playing around with, of like a little. I was putting together like a little course on how to like put together AI newsletters. And so I put this one together, and it's called the Useful AI. It's just trying to put useful AI information in it. But I put that Card landing page together in, I don't know, under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it looks cool, I think.
It looks really cool.
Like with the animations and everything. So
yeah,
those are all the templates in Card. It's free. I mean, you'd see in the training, but it's free. And if you want to pay, like get your own custom domains and a couple of their premium templates, it's like $9 a year or something, just insane.
Yeah, very cheap.
So Max, I went to your link and I must not have access to that space because it says it's private. Is it for Genesis members or something?
No, you should have it.
Yeah, I don't have access to it either.
Oh,
I wonder, because you guys were part of the original beta
Yeah.
the program, so I wonder if that one did get. So I'll get you guys
yeah,
actually.
you should have all access to it. Like I also see like all like the AI bundle and everything. I see all in there. Might just be a little permission thing.
Yeah, it'll just be a permission thing.
Good that we talk. Now you can use it.
Yeah, I know Gary Gill. Yeah, you're in there. So I'll just get you permission right now, Gary.
Okay.
And same with. Oh yeah, there's
Quick question, Adam. Have you used Claude 3 yet?
No, I have not actually. I barely use Claude at all. Like I mostly use ChatGPT, and now I also downloaded LM Studio and Pinocchio, which is basically the same thing as ChatGPT, but as a downloadable version with no limits on messages, and it's free. And I can do most of my work with that as well. So I only use ChatGPT if I actually need to upload big files. Because even though like the LM Studios has a context window of 32,000 tokens, which is like ChatGPT like 32K, it's still like it's better if I just upload a doc and it can work with that. But it is still like perfect for everything else.
So this
I see.
Card is it Card CARD?
ARRD.
CARRD. Okay.
Like a pirate. R.
Gary, I just gave you access to tons of stuff. So
Okay, cool. Thank
that'll
you.
that'll keep you busy. And Tino and Alan, what are your emails? For some reason, I'm not finding you in
Mine, here, I'll put it in chat.
Yeah, if you guys put your emails in chat, I'll figure out where you guys are at.
Perfect. And in the meantime, I'll answer Alan's point. Like he asked if there are any alternatives to Typeset. Well, the thing is this, Typeset is kind of like the alternative to other things. Like I used, for example, there is like a paddle net that helps you create like slides, but I found it very clunky, not a lot of options, and it's limiting it to 10 slides, even if you pay for it. And that is like shit. And so therefore, not really good. And the other version would be Canva. Canva is a fantastic AI tool, but it's more like a graphic design tool. So if you want to create anything in it, yes, you can. You can create landing pages, you can create social media posts, you can create literally anything you want. You can even video edit in it, which is good. But the reason why I think Typeset is good is because it limits all the options and therefore limits all the clutter. And especially if you're not an expert in design, then it helps you more. Because think about it, AI is not there to do your job for you. AI is there to help you do your job faster or more efficiently. That's why shit copywriters that use AI just produce shit copy faster. Very rarely do they produce great stuff. Yeah, if they exactly copy specific prompts that a pro copywriter created, that like when they would copy paste basically anything they learned in Genesis, yes, they could create some great copy, but they wouldn't know if it's good or not. They wouldn't know how to edit it. They wouldn't know how to spot bad from great copy. And so therefore, it may or may not work. But if you're a great copywriter and you use ChatGPT for like writing stuff out for you, then you just save time. And the same is true with design. Like if you're a great designer and you have a great eye, then Canva is amazing. And Typeset will probably frustrate you, right? Because you're like, oh my God, like I want this better. I want this different. I want this like small little creative thing here. You can't do any of that. But if your expertise is like writing, strategizing, ideation and stuff like that, and you're like, come on, like I don't want to have to spend 5 lifetimes in front of Canva just to make sure this one little thing looks good, and then I have to do it like 50 times over for the rest of the slides, then Typeset is your better choice because it literally preps it for you and you just need a little bit of like brushing up and editing. So I hope that answers your question, but yeah, Typeset is basically the alternative to other presentation AI tools.
Mm-hmm. I use Canva every day. It's awesome, but yeah, it's just different. Depending on what you're using it for. And eventually I want to do a Canva training with all their AI tools because their Magic Studio is pretty cool. There's some fun stuff in there.
Oh, I would love that.
Alan, can you send me your email address too in the chat? Tino, you should have access to a lot of new stuff. So
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I just saw that in mine too. Thanks, Max. Appreciate that.
That'll keep you busy for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Oh man, cool.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. Thank you.
There you go. Cool. Any other questions? Any other wishes, ideas, suggestions, anything?
Hey, Adam, real quick, that Typeset will export in PDF, right?
Yes, it
Okay.
exports in PDF or PNGs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them are possible. And yeah, I was like, the only thing is sometimes it will take a long time to export. So that's not the best thing yet. So you sometimes have to check and sometimes it just crashes. But don't worry about it. It just happens sometimes. It's fine.
Okay.
Alan, you already had access to the card training, but I gave you some other stuff too. So if you refresh, you'll see. And just so you guys know, I'm going to fly down to Miami tomorrow, and me and Luke are going to sit down. I don't like Circle very much for at least for the kind of work we're doing. So I think we're looking on burning it all down and starting fresh with something new. That's going to be much easier to navigate.
Sorry, what?
I was saying that I just for an organizational piece, I'm flying down to Miami tomorrow to meet with Luke, and we're gonna redo so much of this stuff. Because we got this up, we got it launched, we just loaded up with so much content, but now I don't like the way Circle's set up just as a user experience for the type of membership that we have. So I think we're gonna burn it down and start all over again with some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, nice. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Cool. Awesome, my friends. Now, let me give you some homework. that makes it easier for you to implement all of this. Typeset has a free a free membership, so you can test it out. Just write some copy, like let's say make a little mini book or whatever, right? And just create a nice presentation with it, just to see how easy it is. Like, let's say you want to write a webinar, just like create the first few parts of it in there, just like get an outline for the webinar, right? It's that simple. And just see for yourself how easy it is, even if you never use Typeset again, even if you never create slides with this again. The purpose of this is not that you learn how to use Typeset or create webinar slides. The purpose of this exercise is to train your brain that it is easy to create things that you thought you can't create before.
Mhm. That's
And
great.
like that change in mindset allows you to think differently about other AI tools as well. Because don't forget, AI is relatively new. And yes, we learned a lot about it. And now everyone, like basically AI knowledge is everywhere. Like when I wanted to, you could like spend the rest of your life learning stuff that just came out last month, right? So that's that. But we are so trained over the last decades, actually, on using the internet like Google. I put in a question, I get out a result, and then it may or may not be right, and then I have to search more. And most people still use AI like that. Like when I'm on Instagram or YouTube, and I see people like, hey, copy this prompt. It's like, hey, create me 10 ideas for social media posts. I'm like, you're not even priming it. Where's your research? Where is like these prompts are shit. And like even new programs are coming out right now. Their prompting is ass. And I don't mean this to make other programs bad. No, they do their best. But what I'm wanting to say is like the thinking about AI, the logic, the principles have not sunken in the public consciousness yet. And so nobody can expect you to have the thinking either. Just because you know good prompts, just because you know which tools to use, doesn't mean that you actually deeply in your mind understand it yet. Yeah, exactly. Ask ChatGPT to X and it sucked. Yeah, because you're asking wrong, right? So just do it and see how you feel when you just suddenly got something that was in your mind out in front of you on your screen and see how simple that was. Doesn't matter if it's the Sherlock prompt that I showed you, and then you use like you copy paste the research and types it, and boom, it makes you like a presentation out of it. Doesn't matter. Like you could even tell ChatGPT, like, hey, listen, this is my research. Upload it. So like, hey, listen, make me a pip deck out of this. Like, make me a presentation out of this. And then you copy the presentation, put it into Typeset, and boom, there you have your presentation about the research. And suddenly you can give somebody a playbook of your clients. Like, listen, I made this playbook for you on your research. Here you go. And it looks like super high quality. Like, holy shit, this dude must have worked forever on this. Looks very valuable. It doesn't matter how you use it, but just do it. And train your brain to realize ideas you have here that seem to be impossible to realize before in front of you in a very short amount of time. Because your brain is just as an AI. It wants to save and conserve energy. And if it conserves that, it means it wants to do the job with the least amount of resources, the least amount of energy expended possible. The moment the door opens, that 4-minute mile is broken, suddenly you become more creative. Why? Because your brain sees a way to realize it. Otherwise, it wouldn't waste energy on creativity. I mean, some of you have seen my book, right? And like you see the images there, they look gorgeous. Like, let me show you again. Like, and I'm not showing this to you to brag, but I want to actually show you the power of this thing, right?
I think Ron wanted to see your suit again too.
Thank you. So yeah, here you go, right? You see like this image here, this beautiful brain image. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Or like an image like this, like the Sherlock Holmes giving knowledge as a god to the salesperson. How do you think of that? I wouldn't have thought of it if my brain wouldn't have known that it doesn't matter what I have in my mind. I literally can create anything I want. Right? It's the same thing. Or this, like thinking of this kind of designs or this was not possible before. Or this kind of like myth busting box here, right? All of those ideas came because I saw that there is no limit to my imagination anymore. I created so many images for this book. Like I maxed out my messages basically 5 times a day. So freaking often. And I abused the hell out of Poe because I have more messages there. Like until I got this one, I think it was 40 tries. But those 40 tries needed nothing of my brain power, only of my time. And well, yeah, time is valuable, but listen, if I would have asked somebody on Fiverr to create this, or if I would have tried to do this on Canva, it would have taken forever in this quality. And why? If I have to think creatively and it takes a lot of time, then I wouldn't think as creatively and it would just look boring. But if I can outsource the boring hard work, then I get stuff that looks fantastic and funny and the way I want it to. Because 40 different tries cost me 0 cents. Just a click. And in theory, it doesn't even cost my time because I can do literally anything else in the meantime until the picture's done.
So you made all those images in DALL-E?
Yeah, ChatGPT's DALL-E, not the post DALL-E.
Okay.
ChatGPT, because there I can give direct feedback, what I want to change, how I want it to look different, and so on. And that is exactly the point. I prefer ChatGPT's DALL-E because it allows me more specific feedbacking. And the art of giving feedback to AI is directly related to your ability to create great content with it. Because it gets more and more human. I've said this in Genesis a bunch of times. It gets more and more human, meaning you have to treat it more and more human. If you treat it like a bot, it gives you responses like a bot. If you treat it like a human, it will be like a human. Why? Because it predicts based on your inputs. If your inputs are very human, it will assume the role of a creative human. If you treat it like a bot, it will assume the role of just a simple tool that has no ability to ideate whatsoever. And if you understand that simple principle, no matter what you do, your results will be 100 times better. Your growth will be so much more powerful. And you will be able to literally outperform every single one on the team of every client you ever work with. Like I used to be, what's it called? A creative director once for a huge marketing agency. So it was a short-term project, very short-term project, just to implement some ideas, just get the people on track again. They were a little bit lost, needed some fresh perspectives. And the designer sometimes took 4 hours to create a design that I could do in 20 minutes with AI. But my quality was better. And it, like when he showed us when he was creating it, it took him forever. Every click, every moving stuff around. And he was not a beginner. He was a good designer. But a simple thumbnail took him forever. And I can do this ChatGPT Canva, 20 minutes done, and I'm not a designer at all. I just know what it needs to look like because I have the vision in my head and I need the ability to describe it properly. And then I do a little bit of feedback. I get 90% of the work done, and the rest I finish where the AI can't go. I used to call this copybotting, where like you write, like you basically AI writes 90% and does like 90% of the heavy lifting, which takes time, the writing out and so on. And you do the rest 10%, the ideation, the editing, and the last bits of human touch. Never accept the first output an AI gives you in the first place. Ever. Like even if it's good, just regenerate. See what comes out better. Another tip that I can give you regarding the predicting thing, right? What you want to do if your output is not good, never continue a conversation when output is shit. Because everything in the conversation becomes part of the process. So you don't want to do that. You edit the prompt rather. And if something is super off and you don't like it at all, sometimes if you just click regenerate or edit the prompt, you still can get that output because it tries to be in the ballpark. When it's super off, then you can literally tell it, I hate this. And then you literally describe everything that you don't want in there anymore and say, give me something different. Because the AI understands the concept of hatred, it will predict the exact opposite of what you want because it wants you to love the result, right? So if you say, I hate this result, and specifically this, and this, it will give you the exact opposite because it predicts that this is something you will be satisfied with. So that's how you can like shortcut better results this way. Useful?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So you're telling us to be an abusive boss. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But it's a good point you brought it up. Always be polite to ChatGPT. I always say please. I always say thank you. I always tell it to, like, when I just use it for like small little shit stuff, right? Then just as I did now, I don't. But whenever I needed to deliver great work, I sometimes even tell it, hey, take a quick break, man. Like, and when it gives me a bad output and stuff, I say, like, listen, I understand this was a complicated thing. I believe in you. I know you can do this. Take a quick break and then try again. Do it right. And it does.
Hey, quick
It
question,
does.
Adam.
Yes.
Yeah, quick. So when you say if you don't like it at all, do you start a brand new prompt, or do you like log off and log back in again, or you just start a brand new conversation?
Oh, no, I do it in the same conversation.
Oh,
Like, for example, let's say I have it in this conversation, right? And I say like, hey, listen, I want an image like this. And it gives me, or let's say I want a metaphor, right? And it gives me shit metaphors. Always the same ones. And I tell it, hey, I absolutely hate those metaphors. Metaphor 1, 2, 3, and 4 are completely overused. I absolutely hate them. Give me something else. Then it will not give you the same thing again. It will completely rule them out.
okay. I didn't know if you got out of that whole window or you start a brand new session.
Yeah, like the thing is with a brand new session, it doesn't retain anything from other
Yeah.
conversations.
Right.
So therefore, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't know, right? Yeah, it will even apologize, right? And tell like, hey, I'm so sorry that I misunderstood you. That's why, like, I'm always polite. It's like, hey, I absolutely hate it. Don't worry, it's okay. Try again, right? I don't want it to feel bad, basically, right? That's why I treat it like a human. And one day when the AI overlords become sentient, I don't want to be the first on the hit list. Oh, that's another thing, right?
Yeah. Have you noticed they're giving you better results if you're polite?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Huh.
100%. If you're polite, it gives you so much better outputs and it tries harder. If you're an
Okay.
asshole, it gives you short, quick results. And it seems that sometimes it even is a little bit smug, right? It's like I noticed it in the beginning when it just didn't want to do what I wanted it to do. Before, like, I really, really got control over prompt engineering, I literally I was yelling and losing my shit. I was like yelling at the computer, what is wrong with you? Right? And I was typing, dude, I fucking told you this 7 times already. How are you still fucking this up? I'm so sorry that I didn't meet your expectations. No other answer, no other result. Like, and they're like, do it again. All right, gives me the same shit again. I hope it meets the expectations now. Like, no, it fucking doesn't, right? And so it knows, I think, it knows how to respond to certain people.
Yeah, I just put the tweet in the chat of this guy. He did like a full breakdown of tipping. Because I know we've heard that before, but he actually did like a side by side of tipping versus not tipping, and the results were crazy.
Yeah.
Just how much better it was when after he offered a tip and the longer responses it gave.
Yeah. There you go. It's literally what we just discussed, right?
Yeah, I think there's something to treating it like a human. I mean, it's designed to think and predict like a human. And there's all these things that I'm reading about, like how depending on the season, the AI gives you more results. Like in the winter season, it gives you less effective results, and then the summertime. So there must be something to it that where the AI is almost human. So if you treat it like a human, it'll give you a better result.
Yeah, and it also makes sense, right? In the wintertime, most people are at home, so more people are using it than in the summertime when people are outside and have better things to do. I think the more people access the server, the worse it gets as well. That's also why, like, I went back to short prompting, right? Because right now, yeah, in theory, you can do like 2,000 word prompts now, and they do work. Like, I mean, my shallow prompt is quite long, but like, it's not even close to the length that you can actually do. But when you think about it, imagine ChatGPT is one person that is just very fast at their work. What will they rather do? Somebody that says, I need a 1-sentence answer, or somebody that says, hey, I need you to go through 500 pages, give me a detailed analysis, like, yeah, you know what, that takes longer. I'm going to do the quick shit first, so that's off my plate, and then I can focus on the long stuff. Just the same way as a human would take a test. I finish the easy questions first, because I don't want to waste my time thinking about the stuff and then not get any credits because I didn't get to the easy stuff. So make it easy for the AI to give you what you want. Give it clear parameters, give it short little shots of an idea, and make it easy for the AI to predict what you want. Don't try to like, oh, AI is so smart, I don't need to think at all. Well, duh, you do. If you want good results, that is. Like, you can even imagine it like as a, imagine it would be a psychic, right? And you visit a psychic and you pay a psychic $1,000 for a prediction. And the psychic says, well, I can sense in your future that something will happen. Thanks for the $1,000. How would you feel? Probably not that happy, would you?
Nope.
Because it's too vague. But when it tells you, listen, I see that you will land a job within the next 2 months, and that job will pay you between 5 and 10K. And the job will actually be your dream job. And you will love to work with the people there. And about 5 months after you start the job, you will actually meet a work colleague and you will fall in love with her and she will become your soulmate. Now it's worth $1,000. Or closer to it at least. Now it tells you the name of your colleague that you will date, and it will tell you the company that you start with, and it will tell you specifically how to apply so you get the job. Then it's worth $1,000. Maybe even more. And the same way you want to go with ChatGPT, because that thing costs millions and millions of dollars to keep up. So you want to actually use that and make it easy for it to give you proper results. Otherwise, you get the bullshit answers. Cool?
Cool.
Any other questions that you have that I can help you with today?
All good.
Sweet. If you have any other questions, ping me in Discord, ping me on Facebook, text me, whatever, right? And I'll see you in the next experts call when I'm hosting it. And enjoy. Again, do the homework. It will be mind-changing for you. And you'll see suddenly, like, you might have a talent that you didn't know you had.
Cool. Thanks, Adam.
Great.
You're most welcome.
Great session.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Happy to hear. And thanks for being patient with the Zoom thing. Thanks, Max,
Sure.
for jumping in.
Thanks, buddy.
See you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.